Hello, afternoon, everybody. As you can see, the Queen is back. But before I get started in here, I want to tell you that I am a complete and utter moron. I came out the other day to record a video, got distracted by something, set the GoPro Hero 4 that I just bought on the trunk of my car, forgot it was there. I think you can guess what happened. Needless to say, it's gone, and I'm back recording on my Hero 3, which is okay. It just doesn't have a USB port, so I got to charge the batteries externally, and I can't plug in that little microphone that I bought. So hopefully the audio on this video will be okay. I guess we'll just see what happens. So that being said, let me go ahead and show you the vinyl that I got. See? Nice thick vinyl. For some reason, the company that made this vinyl cut it along here, and I'm not sure why they did that. In fact, the upholstery place asked me that question. They said, why did they cut it right there? I have no idea. How am I supposed to know? But they took them a while to do it because apparently it kept raining. They had to do it outside because the van doesn't fit in the garage. But it's done. It's not a perfect job. There are a few areas that, I don't know, they just didn't cut very carefully. But, you know, they only charged me $135. So I'm not complaining. $135. I certainly couldn't do it this well by myself. But I'm happy with how it looks, and it's going to be real durable. It's not going to get stained or you know, whatever. It's going to be real easy to clean, and I'm happy with it. And the rest of this floor is going to be done later this month. I've got an appointment with the flooring place to have some nice fake wood put in. It'll look good, and it'll be real durable as well. So today I'm going to be working on the plumbing. I have to redo the gray water plumbing, and then I want to install the toilet. Hopefully I can get that all done today. Alright, so let's get started. One more thing I want to show you before I get started. I almost forgot about this. Those on Facebook have already seen it. See that? About a week or two ago, my father came over and we spent a Sunday installing a dump station at the house. And basically it just goes through the wall there and attaches into another sewer pipe that runs past the window. And it works beautifully. My dad brought his RV over and we dumped his tanks into it, and it just straight through, no problem. So now I don't have to drive across town to dump my tanks anymore. That's awesome. Okay, so this is the underside. I've got the Queen up on ramps right now, which is a lot safer than jack stands. So it gives me some room to work. But right here is where the sewer hose connects for the gray water. You may remember from my first video, I believe, that it has two separate connections. The gray was over here, or the black was over here, and the gray was over here. So you had to dump the black and then detach the hose and move it over to the gray. I can't imagine why they did that, but they did it. And so the gray pipe comes back here, and there's the tank right there, and you know, right here. And for some reason, instead of running the pipes into the tank, they simply brought them down here and connected them right here, which means that all the water going down the drains has to fight against the water that's already in the tank and push its way in. It also means that you have to have a second valve. I don't know how well you can see that valve right there. That valve has to be closed whenever you're driving, because when you accelerate, all the water that's in the tank flushes back. It goes back up the pipes and into the shower. So you have to have that valve shut and then reopen it when you stop. Otherwise, you can't. All your drains won't work. So, bad design. Just kind of lazy and didn't really think it through. Let's just make it work well enough so that the guy looking at it at the dealership can test it and say, oh yeah, it drains, okay, good enough. Spend $100,000 and drive away not realizing how poorly it was actually designed. Additionally, if we follow these pipes back, it's kind of dark, but right here is the drain for the sink in the bathroom. And then here it tees off. It goes this way to the galley, the kitchen sink. And then it comes back over here. There's the hole where the toilet is. And then it goes to this trap here, which is for the shower. Now I noticed the other day that, see that? That is the plastic pipe melting from the heat of the exhaust pipe. So they put the trap right below the shower, and it's like 2 inches away from the exhaust pipe. That's got to be fixed. The other thing I'm going to do is cut all this away. I'm going to cut all this stuff away. I'm going to replace all this so that when the black water comes down, it all connects into one connector like it should have in the first place. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to detach this pipe. Actually, I'm going to replace it, but ultimately, instead of running it in like this, I'm going to actually send it further down, and I have a fitting that I cut a hole in the tank, and I can actually put the pipe into the tank up there. If I put it up there about midway, as high as I can, then that way, when water sloshes back and forth, it won't go back up the pipe, and I won't need this second valve. So I won't have to constantly be remembering to open and close that valve. So that's the plan for today. Hopefully I can get most of it done, if not all of it. I have to go to Home Depot and get what I need and come back and get to work. Instead of just a standard trap, I'm actually going to install one of these guys. This is called a HEPVO. I don't know how well you can read that. It's etched into the side. It's a HEPVO trap, where instead of a regular trap where it actually relies on water being inside the trap, this actually uses a little rubber bladder sort of thing that has an open end. Basically, as water goes in this side, it opens up and water passes through it. And as soon as the water stops going through it, it closes back up again to prevent sewer gases and water from coming back. So it's got great reviews online. People seem to really like it. You don't have to winterize this either. You don't have to put any antifreeze down into this because there's no water in it. So I'm going to give it a try and see how well it works. Hopefully it'll work as well as people say it does. I was a little skeptical about the rubber I was worried the rubber would degrade, but people say it doesn't degrade. I've had it on for years and it still works beautifully, so we'll see. And frankly, if it doesn't work, it's not glued in, it's just screwed on, so if I have to replace it, I can replace it. It wasn't that expensive. Alright folks, so here we are under the Queen. I hope you can see, it's kind of dark, but here's the setup. You got that elbow right there where the shower comes, and then I went with metal pipe as an attempt to reduce the heat concerns. Probably won't matter anyway, but I stuck with it. And then there's the HEPVO trap right there, and it continues on over to here. This is where the sink, the kitchen sink, it comes in from here, and then it comes over this way. This is not the bathroom sink like I thought it was. This is actually the a vent that goes under the sofa. So I wanted to continue with that. Put the vent right there. Then this comes down, and it'll go into the tank right there. That's actually a uniseal. Basically, you just cut a hole in the tank, you put the seal in the hole, and then you press the pipe in. And this piece will go right here. Once I get it all glued together, this is how it's ultimately going to look. Now, I was initially going to run the pipe all the way up and put it into the tank over here to avoid flow back into the shower, because that's been a problem. That's why this valve is set up right here. And then I realized that this HEPVO trap acts as a check valve. It's got that little rubber gasket in there that prevents anything from coming back. So even if I do get a little backflow into the tank, or from the tank, it's not going to make it into the shower anyway. So that point was moot. So I just went ahead and put it in right here. It's rubbing on the e-brake cables a little bit, but I never use the e-brake anyway. On a 20-year-old vehicle, you don't want to use the e-brake because the cables rust, and then you push in the e-brake, next thing you know, they get stuck, and you can't release them. So you never want to use the e-brake on a vehicle this old, at least unless you know that it's been used regularly up until then. So the e-brake will still be intact in an emergency, but I won't ever be using it anyway. So a little bit of rubbing on the pipe isn't going to hurt anything. So the next thing is to glue everything together and hope that I planned everything out properly and I don't screw this up. Let's do it. Alrighty, folks, there she is. Everything's connected, glued together. And you see how this works? Goes right into the tank. Yeah, I'm happy with that. Everything's got pretty much a decent amount of downward fall on it. It's not a huge amount, but you don't need a lot. So the next thing is the toilet.